Okay.
We are
Thank
live.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ask Dr. Dan. We are live. We weren't live. We had a technical glitch. We worked it out. Welcome to today's episode on holiday stress and how to manage it. I know that none of you out there are experiencing any holiday stress. It's only early December, and yes, we're already talking about it because in case you haven't noticed, there's some decorations that are up in the stores. You might be seeing some Lexuses with bows on that are on your TV, on the commercials, and your kids might be asking for certain things. And also with Facebook, you might be seeing a lot of wonderful holiday pictures and everyone's getting in the mood. So the holidays seem to be an interesting time for families, and for a lot of us have varied different expectations and memories and experiences, and also looking forward to those big family functions that also could be very interesting with people you do want to see, people you don't want to see, people who make you feel comfortable. So I think what's key as we think about the holidays is how do we go about managing our own stress so we can make a connection, a rewarding family experience, and not get caught up in some of the things like perhaps some of the commercialism and targeted marketing and all the other things that go along with this time of year. So what I like to think about is what is a goal that we can have with our family for the holiday season? Is your goal going to be decorating the house together? Is the goal going to be focusing on the history, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Christmas, whatever you celebrate? Is the goal going to be giving? Do we talk about receiving? And think about what are the things that actually cause you stress during the holidays so you can anticipate them and you can think about how you are going to go about managing them ahead of time. You know, I always think about, as people who have lived for a while, and those of us who are parents are on the older side, and some of us have some gray hair, so we've had some holiday seasons. Don't you notice that some of the same things happen year after year after year? And do you find yourself being surprised when they continue to happen? And should we really be surprised when we get into the same argument with the same person, when someone brings up politics at the family meal, when someone maybe drinks more than they should and says some inappropriate things? I feel like we have an obligation as mindful individuals to think ahead of what we want to happen and what we don't want to happen so we can be mindful. And here's a question from one of our listeners. Dr. Dan, I would love to know how I cannot pass my stress along to my children. Help, I'm turning into the Grinch. Happy holidays. Okay, so just that you have asked that question, just that you've asked the question that you don't want to pass on your stress means that you're 50% there. So now the thing is, what are you stressed about? Is it this general stress about shopping? Is it just general stress about meeting other people's expectations and families' needs? Or is it specific to going to someone's house, to having to see someone where it didn't go so well last year at the family function? I think it's really key to make aware to yourself what the thing is you're stressed about, and then think about an actual action plan, right? Like we can actually get ahead of these things. We can actually think about, oh, well, so we have a response here. So everything I have to do, my to-do list is endless. So, okay, make a plan. The to-do list is always going to be endless this time of year. And I think that most people we talk to would say that the to-do list is the number one thing. Is there a way that you can get some help with it? Actually, I have one for you. What are your expectations for yourself about that to-do list? Is everything necessary? Are you going above and beyond? Do you need to go above and beyond to be a great mother, a great daughter, a great spouse, a great friend? Is it realistic? I mean, most of the people that I talk to are totally stressed out about making the holidays wonderful. And then what are our kids seeing? Are our kids seeing the stressful parts? Are our kids wondering why we're snapping at them and why we're short with them when it's supposed to be a wonderful family time? I think this is, I'll tell you about a mistake I made on Thanksgiving morning. I went into, that old holiday that happened a long time ago, about a week ago. I went into one of my children's room, and because of a few different events that happened, I decided to bring up something that my wife and I were talking about in terms of organization and school, and something we were concerned about. And I felt pressure to do it for a variety of reasons. But as I was doing it, I'm like, this isn't good. And then what I got back from my child was, oh, happy Thanksgiving. It's going to be a great day. So I walked away with my head down thinking, I knew it. I knew I should have waited. I should have been more mindful about what I wanted from my child and from my relationship. Now, the good news, we recovered. But that was a big, big mistake. So in this time of holiday stress, we have to be aware that we might not be as mindful as we would like to be because we have the pressure of things to do and time. And what's getting lost in this, you guys? How about gratitude? How about time with family? Maybe people are working less because they're home for the holidays. Maybe it's time with extended family members. Let's really drill down on what are the important things that you want to get across with your kids. And another thing that I do recommend in these situations of stress is being very transparent with your kids. So if you have a lot to do, or for those of us who have a lot to do in the office, because sometimes the holidays actually brings more work when we have competition for our time and we want to be home, you can actually be transparent with your kids depending on their age and say something like, you know what, holidays, there's always all this expectation around the holidays, and sometimes we actually end up getting a little stressed out and short. Let's just work really hard to support each other and having quality time together. And I want you to let me know if I'm being a little short with you. It's probably about something else, and it would be really helpful if you told me. So there's this whole thing that you can join with your kids, and then they might be open to hearing something from you too, when otherwise they might be a little closed. Okay, I'm glad that helped. Okay, so what I'd like everyone to think about is this holiday season, a few things. Think about what stresses you out. It's likely the same things that stress you out every year. That's number one. Once you've identified what stresses you out, I'd like you to think about, do you need to be as stressed about those things? Is there anything that you can do to mitigate or ameliorate that stress? Right? So you go into action planning. Is there anywhere you can get some help? Is there any way you can make your A plus performance into an A or A minus and it still be okay? Can you be kind to yourself? I also want you to think about staying aware of how your body energy is feeling. And when you're feeling, you're pulsating inside, you feel like you're going to be short, you're getting really frustrated, you're snapping, be aware of that. It's okay to give yourself a timeout. It's okay to tell your kids, you know what, I just need to take a break. And finally, I want you to think about one thing that you can identify as a goal that you want for your holiday, your Christmas, your Hanukkah. What do you want for your celebration, for your time off together and your time together? And externalize it. Tell your kids, tell your family, this is something that you really want, and brainstorm with them. And finally, the last thing is be kind to yourself. Don't trust all of the commercials and all of the Facebook pictures. Everyone is having real life too. And just stay focused on yourself and being the best person you can be. And I hope you have a good next few weeks as you're preparing for the holiday. Finally, what footprint do you want to leave this holiday season?